And welcome back to another fish room video. Okay, a lot has happened. There's Benji doing sniffs. We've started moving a few things around. I know, I warned everyone I would, but I need more room for all the Malawi cichlids. Oh, and I've got the weirdest fish. Yes, we got a rescue fish. Well, a donation, I suppose you could say. So it's been with a guy for a long time. He's unfortunately passed away. One of his family members has brought in a couple of fish. It is so strange. I'll show you that soon. But yes, updates, hurrah! Finally, I have split up my Malawi cichlids. So these are all the babies. Now, these tanks were absolutely packed with fish. And yeah, wait till you see how many are around the other side. So these are mostly little fish that I've grown up. So rostratus, which are a really, really cool Malawi cichlid. Starting to look like rostratus. Now, they're not going to be for sale for a little while because I'm going to wait till they're a decent size. And I do need more girls because I'll show you the adults around the other side, and I've only got like 3 girls, big angry boy. Yeah, so I need more girls to sort of break up the aggression and all that sort of stuff. But those are rostratus, super cool fish. Big Malawi cichlid, they're going to get about 25-30 centimeters. Next door we have electric yellows. So these are all the little babies, and I can just about tell males and females. And again, I've only got a couple of adults, so I wanted to grow up a fair decent amount of these so I can have a colony of them and have like 20 breeding fish or so, just to build up my numbers so I can have nice cheap electric yellows again. They're only just starting to colour up. There's a few really nice ones, there's a few mingy looking ones. We're going to line breed the nicest looking ones, and right at the back we have our blue dolphins. Well, they're albino blue dolphins, that's why they're white and have red eyes. So yeah, I've only got, I think, about 7 adults of them as well. So I'm going to grow them up probably a couple of months before I can start to tell males and females. And then, yeah, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put some bigger tanks. And I'll show you the tanks around the other side because, again, as I said, everything's being moved around. These white lip madukas or madokas, oh, they are taking so long to grow. They are still brown. So they're a brown fish, but they go bright blue with awesome, awesome white lips, hence their name, white lip madoka, and I'm guessing Maduka or Madoka or whatever, however you pronounce that is where they come from in Malawi. Now these other little tiny stripy things, I'm pretty sure are hybrids, but I'm not 100% sure yet because it depends on who Dad was and all that. And I've got a whole heap more fry in there. Down the bottom, still a big mix of, who knows what. My big electric yellows, I've got some electric blues, some Copiachromis. There's my one female electric blue, I do need more of those. One Spiralincus, and yeah, just random other sort of bits and pieces in there. So I do need to tend to that. Now, all the fish that were in there are around here. I know, still a big mess. Now those 4-foot tanks there were here and I've moved them over, which involved just pumping water out, moving fish out, sliding it over and pumping everything back in. I know, yes, I did that all on my own. Everyone kind of says I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. But these 2 tanks here, which are looking a little bit yellow, mainly because we have natural light hitting them, that is all my Lunicara. So yeah, a lot of peacocks. These are all the little babies, apart from these little guys here, which are polystigma. So Nimbiachromis polystigma. And I think I've got all girls because I was very, very slack with taking some of them home. We had a really nice batch in about a month or 2 ago. Well, now that might be a young boy there. And yeah, everyone pinched them before I could get some. So I grabbed the last 7. I know. Yes, it is a shop, and yes, I should be selling stuff to customers and not just taking everything home, but they're a really nice fish. But a lot of peacocks in here, a crazy amount of peacocks, I know. So all of them were in those smaller tanks around the other side. I only just moved them yesterday. And down here, we have more peacocks. Got a few males just starting to colour up. Now I will have a fair few of these for sale. I'm just going to pick out 1 or 2 nice males for myself, and then the rest of them will be available in the next, say, month or so. Look how nice they're starting to get. So really it's just starting to get that red to them as well. So obviously the boys will colour up really, really nice, and the females stay that sort of peachy sort of colour. But yeah, just a man-made breed of Lunacara, which is a peacock. So Malawi cichlids, high pH. Yeah, you don't want to keep them below a pH of 8 or so. So I use buffers and stuff. And a few people asked, that is the main one I'm using at the moment, which is just a Rift Lake buffer. And that helps, as well as having argonite or crushed coral and Texas holy rock and all that sort of stuff to raise the GH as well. In here, we have our albino blue dolphins. So they're the adults, not even full size yet. I still have a couple of rogue black widow fontosa. That one there, and there's one down the bottom as well. Those are the white-lipped madokas at the back. There is a couple of female venistus. I still need to get a batch of venistus and grow them up, but I also need more room. So I'm gonna extend this system. Yeah, I think for next winter, I'm gonna enclose the whole area as well and maybe open it up in spring, which is this time of year. I know, because my heating was just kind of crazy and haven't moved any of these tanks, this mess at the moment. So I'm not going to keep these here. I think I might go for something narrower so there's a little bit more room, because yeah, tiny little aisles is a bit of a nightmare when you're rushing around doing stuff. And down the bottom is a rostratus. There he is. Pretty boring tank, this one. It's just holding them at the moment, but I do want to sort of add a few more rocks and bits and pieces to them. There is a Dimbiachromis. I can't remember the name of that, but I've got all his babies around the other side. There's a couple of girls in there. Another fontosa right at the back, looking particularly mingy. Oh, you don't look too bad, do you? I'm pretty sure a customer wanted that one, so he may find a home. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've got 2 boys, because the wholesaler never has girls available. So I know. I used to breed fontosa about 20 years ago, just the normal ones, not the black widows. Normal ones just have stripes. These ones are, yeah, well, Brumby was the normal one back in the day. Now I think there's all sorts of different ones like Zaire Blue and stuff like that. But this is just a man-made mutation. Well, it's a line-bred mutation, so in captivity. That sounds better, doesn't it? Yes, as opposed to a man-made mutation. Now, all these tanks are connected, so yeah, I know. I still have my Awazi canister filters going, and there was one on that system around there and one on this system. But now they're both connected to all of these tanks. I know, confused? Well, it's not that hard. All it is overflows. And yeah, the reason I've got, what, 2, 4, 6, I had to count then, 6 of these 4-foot tanks connected is because I've got more water volume. It's a lot more stable. So, yeah, kind of made a mess already. Look how cool those fish are. So, the way it works is I have a sump down there, and I have a pump in there, which is one of these Delua Great White pumps. I know, I like them because they're so easy to adjust. That's how you adjust it. Look, we're at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have decent flow pumping through there. I've actually got the little taps turned down. I think I had it at 17. Nah, let's put it at 16. I'm pretty sure 16 was fine. So it is pumping the water up. It is going through this black irrigation pipe. And then I've just got taps going into each of these tanks. That is it. So there's one going in there. There is one going in each one of these. And then there is one going over there. So it will just go into here, it'll overflow in there. That comes down that little black pipe there, and then it overflows into there. So all the water goes back into there. This one up here, which just trickles in there, goes through the overflow there, goes down there into this tank, and then it overflows back in there. It's pretty straightforward. This canister here is pumping water from this tank to that tank, and that is giving me flow. So that's oxygenating all the water, and it is going back into that tank as well. And same with this one. This canister filter here, water is coming from that tank, getting pumped up the top here, and we've also got water coming in there. So they've got 2 lots of water coming in. We have an overflow right at the back, another overflow right at the back, and they just go back down into this tank. You can sort of see with that bit there. There we go. and then that overflows. Now this overflow is dodgy because see how these tanks are almost the same level? So this overflow, we're kind of bending gravity a little bit here. It actually goes up and then down. I know. How does that work? Well, it does work. There's our water trickling back down. There's all our cichlids wanting to be fed. So yeah, that's the way that all that works. And the reason for that, all these tanks are connected. I don't have to stuff around with checking temperature, checking pH, checking temperature, checking pH, because I just check it once in there, and that is all of those tanks. It is so much easier. So if you've got a fish room, don't be shy, drill holes in stuff. Maybe try that first, but you only need, there you go, a drill like that, and you can get all these drill bits from eBay and stuff like that. They are super, super cheap. I don't even know where all my drill bits are. My giant pile of mess. Now, talking about my giant pile of mess, I need to sort these tanks out, and yeah, I am gonna move them. I know, I did say I was gonna move them. But there are so many plants and so many shrimp that you can't really see. There's an awesome little blue shrimp. Look, we can't focus because we've got so much algae. Let's see if I zoom away and go back in again. No, we're never gonna focus on any of them. Lots of shrimp, lots of algae, lots of plants. I need to deal with all of that. Haven't dealt with any of that. Yeah, well, I've kind of dealt with that because I've started moving a few shrimp over there. And look, we've actually got early morning sun. That's why I'm going to move that, because summer with the sun hitting it, I could put a cover up, but I'm going to use those tanks to grow out. So I'm just going to move everything around. Oh, there is our new fish. Let's check out our new fish because he is absolutely bizarre. Look at that. Yes, that's a clown loach. Look at the size and the shape of it. What on earth is that? It's like a rugby ball. Is that the ugliest clown loach you've ever seen? Now, he's pretty big. I would guess 20, 25 centimeters. Look at the belly on it. You gonna come over? No, you're not. And ironically, I did clean the glass. That's how big he is with my hand. Yeah, I did clean the glass last night, but it's looking all mingy now. So the problem with clown loaches is they get big, like 30, 40 centimeters. I don't think this one's going to get much bigger because it's a little bit stunted. It's over a short body, but it's just weird. Look at it. It is fat. It's friendly, aren't you? Yes, you are. So this clown loach and a banded leperonis, and if you don't know what a banded leperonis are, they are the evilest fish in the world. It is in quarantine down there. We're not going to show you that because it's all dark, but I am growing up some different leperonis, so I'll have a leperonis tank eventually. Yeah, they have been together for years and yeah, without any other fish. So I only quarantined them for a few days and I thought, well, it's going to be fine. If I lose all my lovely fish, I'm not going to lose all my lovely fish, but usually I will quarantine fish for a long time. But this clown loach needed to be in a bigger tank, and he was pretty acidic when we got him, and this tank was quite acidic. Well, this system is quite acidic, I should say. Always looks murky, doesn't it? I know. I think my last video, it wasn't murky, but every time I film, I've sort of cleaned the sump and stuff like that. But we have one super large clown loach. Now they are schooling, so I kind of need to get more of them. It is near impossible to get big clown loaches that don't cost like 200, 500 bucks, ridiculous prices. Yeah, so we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Now, there's synspillums. I didn't have synspillums last time, and now we have a girl about to lay eggs there, and a boy there. Someone has completely, I reckon that loach has stirred up all the substrate because everything is just stirred at the moment. But these synspillums were in the shop for, probably the last year, I think. And they did not breed in the shop. So the male always terrorizing the girl. So I've dumped them in here and she has her spawning tube down. If she'll turn around, are you going to turn around? I was hoping they won't breed with the silver cichlids, but it looks like they've cleared out this log here Yeah, there he is chasing things away. There is the clown loach acting all ridiculous. That is a ridiculous fish, isn't it? But yeah, she's got a spawning tube down. I think they're going to lay in that log, which is going to be a problem, but at least I'll be able to move the log out, I suppose. He's a lovely fish. I just can't focus on him because he's like 3 or 4 foot back in the tank. And yeah, these tanks are 4 foot front to back. So I do have a flag tail or 2 in there as well. I'm surprised they didn't get wiped out by the Oscars, but haven't yet. Oh, and talking about wild caught Oscars, I possibly will have some available this week, all going well. Check out that one. That is the little tiny wild caught Oscar. This one's not for sale, but I should. Why would you do that? Why would you just disappear to the back of the tank when I'm talking about you? Okay, so there is a wild caught Oscar in there. Everything has been growing pretty fast, so the puffers are getting a decent size. There's one there. We can focus on you. That is a freshwater puffer, obviously. My albino hoplo cats. There's 2 boys. Almost breeding size now. Yeah, the girls are in there somewhere as well. All my little babies, and these are the balloon ones, or the little stunted ones. If we can focus on them. We're not focusing very well today. Yeah, you can tell males and females with them. Look at them, little stunted bodies. Look at that boy. They are super cool catfish. No, they're not for sale either. So pretty much anything you see in this video is not necessarily for sale, but I may have some available in the shop. Angels are finally starting to look like angelfish. I know, I've been growing these up for ages and ages and ages, but there's some really, really nice patterns on there. A few of them have dodgy fins, but yeah, it is what it is. I will have some albino cubensis pretty soon. Look at them, looking lovely. They will color up really, really nice. Oh, and if we're super quiet, check out their babies. There's mum with the red belly grabbing her babies, and dad freaking out because there's a camera in his face. There's all their little babies. Okay, I'm going to step back because they're freaking out. So I'm going to try not to disturb them. There are a ton of Central American cichlids all back in these tanks. Axolotls have gone back in the shop because it started to heat up, and my tanks are about 22 degrees unheated at the moment. So yeah, we've jumped from being cold to not being cold within a week or so, which is kind of crazy. Tons of Central Americans, so a lot of fish, a lot of messy tanks, a lot of fish. And yeah, if you've seen any of my other videos, all these tanks are connected to a sump. Sump is not filtration, the sump is just to push the water around. And yeah, a few people got confused with that in my last couple of videos, but if you look at this sump, all it is pipes going into a tub. There is a pump in the bottom there, and that is just pumping water. So it's just somewhere for the water to go and moving around. And the reason I don't have filtration in my sumps is if I did, there'd be a buildup of crap and detritus, and then I have to continuously clean them out. Where this way, nothing stays in the sump. So it is super easy. I can adjust water in a barrel, dechlorinate it, check the pH, the GH, and then just dump it in there without killing off any bacteria. If you dump your new water into your filter media, you're going to knock off a lot of the bacteria. Well, with our town water, you're definitely going to. Yeah, so it's a lot easier doing it that way. There is a lot of fish there, isn't there? Yeah, so it's easier doing it that way than stuffing around with a whole lot of biological media in the sump. And yeah, gone are the days of me wanting heaps of filter media in the sumps and stuffing around trying to clean them out, because it just takes ages. It is a right pain to clean a sump, where I have sponge filters in every single tank. And yeah, that is the main biological filtration, and a couple of canisters obviously on this system around the other side. And same with like this Tanganyikan system here. I do need to extend, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to stick another tank up the top, famous last words, I know, or figure out where I'm going to put a few more tanks. But trophies are going really, really well. Look how pretty they are. I should probably feed them because they're all yeah, little pulu points are just starting to get their sort of orange to them. They're little boring brown ones. And the Duboisi are huge. They've probably doubled in size in the last couple of weeks. Kind of crazy, but it's doing what it should be doing. I've been feeding them this stuff too, the Da Vinci Veggie Deluxe, because obviously these are veggie fish, well, veggie eating fish. Did I just call them veggies? I did, didn't I? But they really, really like it. Let's zoom in a little bit. And yeah, they just spend their time grazing, nibbling away on it, and then they'll actually eat the pellet once they've sort of taken the little coating off it. Really, really cool fish. If you haven't seen Tropheus before, they're a Tanganyikan fish, pH between 8.5 and 9.5, so super, super alkaline. Again, I'm just using the Rift Lake buffers to bring up the hardness and the pH, but they are absolutely loving it. So I do want to get a few more colonies of Tropheus. Problem with Tropheus is you want groups of 15, 20 fish, otherwise they tend to go crazy and tend to kill each other. Yeah, and I've only got about 9 to 11 of each of these, which is not really enough. I know, it's a great fish to keep if you're obsessed with keeping fish. Oh no, I need more. So yeah, if you've got a spouse that doesn't like you keeping fish, just get some Tropheus. Oh, but honey, I have to grab more. Yes, awesome, awesome, awesome fish. But yeah, I have to figure out where they're going because I'll need a 4-foot tank for each colony. I know, but something I want to do, so we'll deal with that. Down the bottom, now they always get spooked. Yep, I'm not going to be able to film these. I'm not going to film them today, put it that way. So down the bottom, they were doing really well until I stick a camera in their face and then they hate life. But as you can see with this system, we have a tiny little canister there. It's a little Owazi 250, pumping the water from that tank up to the top. And that is overflowing with a little overflow there, down into there. And that is the main circulation in this tank. There is a decent amount of circulation and I've got an Owazi hang-on filter. They're crazy. They're like 1,000 litres an hour. And obviously sponge filters as well because everything is on battery backup with the sponge filters. But that is sort of where we are. Tanganyikan, Malawi cichlids. Yes, I do need a lot more room. That is crazy. Look at them all. Such cool fish. Look at them all just waiting to be fed. They're like, why aren't you feeding me? Yeah, lovely, lovely fish. Now, along here, I have all the shrimp that I've been taking out of the shrimp system. Well, that was the baby fish system. For winter, we've just had shrimp in there because it doesn't get too cold. And yeah, I've been splitting them all up, but I don't have lights for these tanks, so it's really, really hard to see any shrimp. Obviously, there is an orange shrimp. I had some rillies in there. There's some blues. There's some snowballs. There's a snowball shrimp. Ideally, they go into slightly bigger tanks that are drilled and yeah, more water volume, stable water temperatures, which is going to be a lot better. But that is where we are with all that stuff. I have not done anything about all these tetras and stuff breeding. I haven't really had time to do much except just feed them and maintain them at the moment. So yeah, it'll be a surprise when everything is all a little bit bigger. Now, I did see a whole heap of pygmy Cory babies in there. But yeah, I think they're pretty much lost in the plants at the moment. Just need to deal with a whole lot of weird fish. Yes, we do. Such cool butterfly fish. But I think that is where we are with all that stuff. Nothing much has happened in my quarantine discus tank. They're still doing their discusy thing. Yeah, I'll have to move them out soon. Still tons of baby fish and all sorts of stuff, but it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway, I'll have to deal with these spillums soon. Hopefully they will be fine in this tank. Yeah, every time you put new fish in a tank, it just changes the whole dynamics of everything. There she is displaying to him. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't lay eggs today. So I haven't had some spillum for a long, long time, so I'll be growing these fry up. That is such a big dopey loach, isn't it? Look at it, look at it. That is ridiculous. It's just round. So this side hasn't really changed one little bit. So yeah, my Murray cod was in this, RIP little buddy. Now we just have cichlid grow out, which is pretty lame. I was going to get rid of this tub and move everything around, but it's there for now, and see it's filled with water and it's on the system. Yeah, we just have our cichlids growing out in there, so you can't even see them. They are way down the bottom there. Oh, you can kind of make them out. No, not really. Ton more cichlids in there, mostly wolf cichlids and a few other geophagus. Peacock bass and stuff, big male stingray, which is being a right pain. The rest of the girls are in here, because if you see that really big girl there, and she's pretty huge. I can't even show you how big these are really, because I'm not putting my hand down in there. They're big stingrays. Yeah, this pool is 5 foot, there you go. So what are they? They're like about that big. Decent size. I need to sort them out with much more room. That is hooked up to that tank there and all those there. I know. I'll show more of this system once I've made it a little bit more exciting. Nothing much to really see. Big plecos and stuff, and cichlid grow out. That's probably about it at the moment. Let's jump back to the other tanks. I really should learn to not clean all the sumps out and then do a video, but you know, it is what it is. This tank is still lovely and tannic. It is just grow out with a ton of cichlids. Everything I've bred myself, except the long manus I've had for a long time. Yep, my baby bircher, which are adults. Oh, and I should show you the other babies. A fair few random geophagus. That male looking particularly pretty. Parrot cichlids, the Nicaraguan parrots. Whole lot of grow out with them. Yeah, nothing much is really happening in this tank, except it is very tannic acid and very brown. The groper next door ate the biggest fish yesterday. It was, well, actually you can see the bulge in the side of him. My goodness. Obviously a defrosted fish, but I need to sort him out. And I keep saying that every video because he is almost touching the back of the tank, and that's nearly 3 foot wide. Yeah, it just doesn't look big though, does he? But this tank is 6 foot by 3 foot, roughly, or 2.5 by nearly 3 foot. I know. We're going to sort you out soon, and his wave maker is still going. Zip tied to a piece of PVC because he destroys the wave makers, which probably means he's a little bit bored. So ideally I want to move him to a bigger tank, something that size. That does look hazy as. I reckon I'm going to blame the sump, and I'm going to blame the clown loach for stirring up the bottom. Look at it. Look at you. It is such a friendly fish. I know. This tank, not much has happened. Hemianthus cats are still being right pains. Peacock bass, dovey, which is a wolf cichlid. Giant gourami being very giant. Have not cleaned the glass again. All the rescue Oscars doing their Oscary thing. This is my sump. That is a swimming pool filter filled with K1 media and pressurized. I want to redo all this, so I am going to get new filtration and probably get rid of this, I think. I'll do a smaller type sump setup with a bigger, different type of filter. So yeah, I think there's a few awesome filters that I want to try out, so we'll see how we go with that. But this is sort of like just a big, messy sump area. I know, yeah, don't even look at that. But water quality is surprisingly good until I clean everything out, and then everything looks a complete mess. Saratoga, all that sort of stuff. Sooty grunter being a right pain. Yes, you are the most evilest fish. Not as bad as the Leporonus, but it is what it is. I think we will probably leave it at that because, yeah, everything is a mess, and the more I'm filming it, the more I'm going, oh, I should probably tidy that up, and I should do this, and put lights on those, and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, thank you very much for watching my video. Feel free to subscribe. A lot of my viewers are not subscribing, apparently, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. Apparently subscribers matter, and if you have subscribers, that makes everyone else see your videos or some rubbish like that, so who even knows. But feel free to subscribe if you want, or just click the like button. Anything like that is wonderful. And if you want to become a member, click the little link below. You get a discount in my store, which is in Brisbane, Australia. Oh, I just saw a baby Corydoras then. Let's zoom on you. Well, there he is. Oh my goodness, they look like baby Corydoras. Always fun when that happens. And anyway, yes, click the thingy, you can become a member and you get a discount and you get extra videos and fun stuff like that. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks heaps for watching. Hurrah! Fish room. Grrr.